Starting out as a man that has traits of a bat to the Batman himself, Robert Pattinson is recreating his image and breaking typecasts and doing a damn good job at it. But how did he go from a teen heartthrob to an evil king or even the Dark Knight himself? Ladies and gentlemen, this is Matt Rogers. Pattinson's acting career had humble beginnings. His first movie credits include small roles in some lesser-known dramas. However, his scenes in one of his first theatrical movies, Vanity Fair, was cut altogether and can only be found in the DVD version. And if that's not bad enough, in 2005 he was set to have a promising start in theatre in the production of The Woman Before. But shortly after opening night he was fired and replaced, and that was the end of that. But fame came hurtling towards him in where most of us were introduced to him, Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire, as the ill-fated Tri-Wizard Tournament competitor Cedric Diggory. Although not an entirely fleshed out role, it was enough to get the attention of casting directors, which landed him in his most recognisable role as Edward in the Twilight Saga. Funnily enough, Pattinson was hesitant to audition for the role, but not for the reason you think. He has actually said in interviews that he was scared he wouldn't be able to live up to the perfection that was Edward's character. And whether you're a fan of the Twilight films or not, most would agree Pattinson played his role remarkably well, and it was really a tough gig with some of the scripts he was given. But unfortunately, after so many years of playing such an iconic character, the inevitable problem arose of typecasting. His target audience wanted more of him as a mysterious romantic interest, and he managed to coast through some obvious next projects in the form of chick flicks like Remember Me and Water for Elephants, which weren't bad movies and again well acted, but many, including myself, weren't really ready to accept him as a leading man beyond a romantic interest. A few years passed and you'd be forgiven for thinking he dropped off the radar, as you probably would have missed a lot of his movies after Twilight if you weren't looking. Then it seemed like Pattinson took a step back and re-evaluated his career, and started picking some risky scripts, which was a much needed move if he wished to start being seen as a serious actor. For me, Pattinson shifted gears and appeared on my radar in 2017 in A24's crime thriller Good Time. This movie is a really simple and tight script that holds tension from start to finish and well worth a watch for the story as well as its performances. Pattinson's character is so realistically written yet so unpredictable, and his erratic behaviour is really what makes this movie so thrilling. He walks the fine line between being a hateable no-hoper and a compassionate anti-hero who will do anything for his family, and it's compelling every step of the way. Then a couple of years passed and Pattinson was smart and took another A24 script. The black and white, I guess you'd call it horror, The Lighthouse. This movie is just two guys, Pattinson and the marvellous Willem Dafoe, stuck on a small island maintaining a lighthouse, and that's pretty much it. But this duo has incredible chemistry, and I guess lack of chemistry, which keeps you engaged and makes this two-person show a must-see. Plus, there's just something about black and white movies, an atmosphere that you don't get very often, and it's refreshing to see it used well. And without giving away any important spoilers, you can really feel and sympathise with the descent of these characters. But let's get into the technical aspect of his acting. I really appreciate an actor who can nail accents, and Pattinson has picked some intense dialects, including his US accents, one of which being what I believe to be a dialect from Queens in Good Time, to a convincing sailor's accent, to even a French king in Netflix's The King. And we really need to take a moment for his accent in this movie.
I have come to describe for you your end days. The screams of your men as they die slow.
Him as the King of France is genuinely terrifying. He's remorseless and he has no redeeming qualities, yet presents himself with light-hearted theatrics, which grabs your attention in each of his scenes. I've noticed all of these great characters have bumped up his billing in movies too. For those that don't know, when an actor signs onto a movie, an actor's agent places in their contract what they call billing. This determines many things, including the order their name appears in posters, trailers, and credits, and it's detailed even down to the amount of seconds their name is on the screen. A new trailer just dropped for the new Netflix original film The Devil All the Time, and you'll notice Pattinson got his name mentioned last, with "and Robert Pattinson," which is usually reserved for the most recognised or experienced actor, so props to him for that. On a side note, I love that they're also stretching Tom Holland's acting chops too, and a southern accent from him is something I love that I never knew I wanted. The Devil All the Time is based on Donald Ray Pollock's award-winning book of the same name. Netflix's official synopsis says an unholy preacher, Pattinson, twisted couple and crooked sheriff converge around young Arvin as he fights the evil forces that threaten him and his family. This movie sounds like an ensemble cast stretching their acting chops, which I'm totally here for. Now, Pattinson's latest big project is Christopher Nolan's brain-bending blockbuster Tenet, which unfortunately didn't meet my expectations at all, but the performances were great all round. But speaking of Nolan, the DC Extended Universe is getting yet another Batman, with the god knows how many times reboot of Batman in the 2021 film The Batman. This time apparently zeroing in on the Dark Knight's detective capabilities, which I'll give to them hasn't been a focus in other reboots, and maybe what's needed to pull this off, and something that I for one am very excited to see. Warner Brothers definitely has faith in it too, as they're planning on making this a new trilogy, as well as a spin-off with HBO, which will be based on the Gotham City Police Department, I guess in the vein of the TV show Gotham? But Pattinson bringing us a younger Bruce Wayne is definitely what the Caped Crusader needs at this point. But I guess what we can take from all this is if an actor focuses on picking the right scripts and has the talent to back it, it's definitely possible to break free of typecasts and really start being taken seriously as a top-billed character actor. But what do you think? Has your opinion of Pattinson changed over the years? What were some performances that you found noteworthy? I'd love to hear what you think, so let me know. I'll be down there in the comments. But be sure to subscribe for weekly videos covering your favourite movies and TV shows. If you subscribed during this video, then welcome aboard. And if you had a good time hanging out, then spank that like button. This is Matt Rogers, and that is all.